red team won, or green when the green team won. I'm sure Cody had a great time with that throughout the whole bracket. It was an amazing time for everyone involved. But this controller is also a nightmare for Cody Schwab. What colors are appearing on the screen right now? It's all just yellow. I like the red.
Cody's life is basically everything looked like Dreamland, apparently. You know, it's, just,
Yeah.
it's like this is the color palette. Fox's outfit is like a lot of what Cody's life is like. And it makes sense that he would be drawn to that character as a result.
Also, we got Ben on the screen here. I got a bone to pick with Ben because you remember how he ended the USA versus the World crew battle last year? When US was up like 8 stocks and he switched to Zelda to beat Frenzy. That's just mean, dude. I didn't like it. Ben, I'm sure you're a great guy overall, but you know, that one's etched in history, my friend.
It truly is. Honestly, Dreamland tripping up Ben there with the down air. So Pelf ____. Interesting Twitter ad, but not familiar with Pelf, but obviously we've talked a little bit about Sheik Fox already.
Right.
And I mean, so far, pretty solid. You know, not quite at the percent where up smash will kill, but Pelf could easily even this up pretty quickly. You know,
ooh, needle charge right in his face right there. Pelf should find stock off of this. Oh wow, that's crazy. I mean, you're still in a rough position if you're Ben, so ideally this just becomes even stocks and should be right here.
I really like that option. In general, just the like normal get up from ledge, very strong versus Sheik. What you kind of want to be doing in a lot of spots.
Right.
You see, okay, tech. Let's do a miss tech or something. One of the biggest things, missing your tech against a Sheik, yep, unintentionally, just makes it hard, and that's how he got out. It's one of those things where like it's counterintuitive to newer players because you're like, oh, you're telling me the thing that helps me escape, sometimes I shouldn't do.
There's also like a negative feedback loop with that too, right? Where if you try to hit the tech and you miss it, then you're put into the lockout window, and then you keep missing it over and over because you keep trying to go for it. So I think like internally your brain is like, I need to not press the shoulder button for like a hot second.
Sometimes it's good. See the little Ontario banner on the right side. I guess Ontario putting in some work to help out GOML. Love to see provincial support.
That's right.
Actually, that's been something that I've been noticing with a couple of events in Canada is like tourism groups in the cities being like, hey, actually, if we have thousands of people come to our country and like spend money to be here, that's a good thing. We should support events that do that, and that's really awesome to see. Smash as like a tourist thing is kind of just a cool idea, because it absolutely is the case. Like I read a stat that said like Genesis adds like $4 million or something to the economy of San Jose, I guess it would be.
Really?
Yeah,
that's
like,
crazy.
It's like crazy.
Yeah.
Just because, well, think about it, there's like 2,000 people, and they're like paying for every single meal. They're doing, you know, they have to hire all these security and everything. Like, Smash events, man.
It's pretty good.
Well, we hear about like Taylor Swift's effect on the economy when she tours. Why don't we hear about GOML's effect on the economy?
I mean, like,
you know?
respectfully, Taylor Swift also revived football, American football as a sport.
Yes.
So that's, you know, that goes without saying. But yeah, no, I mean, that's actually a very cool statistic. I hope more majors do that, because I think the people who are like less informed about the financials of this stuff would probably be pretty interested in that.
It was honestly not even Genesis that shared it. It was a news organization covering Genesis that went, and in this event they, you know, contribute blank to the economy.
Right.
And when gamers flock to the thing, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, okay, why are you talking in that voice?
Well, I mean, like, I can tell you that I raise a lot of money for Tim Hortons when I come to Canada.
Exactly.
Not a sponsor, you know. I know they're not an official GOML sponsor, but I'm a fan of Timmy's. I'm just gonna say it. It's like the only thing I eat when
it's the only thing that's close by, you know.
It is kind of like the Canadian Dunkin' Donuts. You know what, Mike? You're right.
I used to be a fan. You know, I won't talk about brand stuff on the GOML broadcast. I'm a pro. In the meantime, we're going to talk about Ben's reaction time. Ben's ability to dash back out of crouch. That's what I like to see.
So there's like a weird, almost kind of like, it's weird to say it, like lost relic piece of history of Ben. Because like back in the 2020s or whatever, obviously when we were in lockdown and whatnot, Ben was clapping up H-Box like bad.
He was.
He had a good winning record on Hungrybox in a matchup that's quite awful, you know?
Yeah.
And like obviously like it brings into question, you know, H-Box was probably in a bit of a slump period, right? But I think still a win's a win, right? And that's like a little fact that's lost to time, I think.
A win. You know, like it was like, uh-oh, what's going on here? Like winning over and over again. Ooh, good coverage though. FD kind of working out for Pelf right now. Great recovery though. And great presence of mind to grab the ledge there, keep it simple.
Okay, cute little moonwalk from Pelf. I like it. It doesn't amount to too much, though. Wow, nice. Okay. I was going to say, like, how do you convert after you've already confirmed the weak hit in air, right? Like, it's kind of a weird position to put yourself in. But he got there on that, but Ben still... Oh, man, this might be a stock. Okay, it's close to it.
72, though, you know, you're not afraid of crouch cancel anymore. That's one of your, like, biggest up smash. Oh, okay.
That's tricky, yeah.
One of the other things in this matchup I always think is so important, and it's not easy to do at all, is when you're the spacey player, you need to make Sheik like work for the crouch cancel.
For sure. Yeah,
you know, you need to make her be like, oh god, he's at 0 again. Because if you don't, like you're just doing Sheik's job for her. Not the ninja job, but the Fighting Fox's job.
That's so rough. Yeah, Pelf, excuse me, had the tech roll correct, but Sheik tech roll extremely long. Oh no, where do you go, my friend? You go to game 3. I think Ben is just 2 in your head.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
One of those moments, this is one of the funny things. So FD, not a good stage for Sheik.
Right.
But when they're tech chasing you, the Fox feels like, ugh.
Like, why did I go here?
Do I really got to go back here? Look, he did, you know?
I think that's like a totally reasonable line of logic,
But I don't think it's correct.
Right?
I literally don't think it's correct. I think you just like still go to FD and just like play better. You
on
know?
paper, yes. Like if you're playing the matchup, but if you're playing
look
the paper
at this, like,
too, yeah.
Sheik just
this is
just the visual
every
there.
frame a painting, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
honestly.
But yeah, I think like I agree with you that I don't think it's necessarily correct to reintroduce platforms, right?
Yeah.
But I think for the fact that Pelf is getting so destroyed off of the tech chase by Ben, that you probably feel inclined to introduce some level of variance at that point, right?
For sure. The way you phrased it, like reintroducing platforms, it was like developmentally. He's not at this stage in the life where we should be doing.
Patch,
yeah, exactly.
Happening on May 22nd.
Exactly.
Akuma will be added to the game, and so will 2 platforms on Final Destination. And we'll call it Stadium. No, that was surely this is an accident, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We've been seeing pretty solid SDI from Ben, like I just said, SDIing the China way. Again, just making Fox's life more difficult, making Pelf have to work for things even more. But I forgot we're on Frozen Stadium. Now maybe I don't mind this choice, actually.
I really like the awareness from Ben, too, to play into the transformation. You saw him go for shield drop up there. It didn't connect, but it was into the platform rising during the transformation. That's crazy good.
Honestly, I bet Pelf is pretty good, too.
I think he's good.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like...
I mean, like, this is the reason I brought up that fact about Ben, right? Like, this dude was beating H-Box consistently, right? This isn't just, like, any top player that you're playing pools against.
You know what this feels like? It's when, like, a short guy stands next to Studebaker. You're just kind of...
everyone?
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're just kind of like, look, like, you look really small, but you're not small, okay? Like, that's not the problem here, you know? Like, and then they feel like, oh, God, this is humiliating. I'm getting force-stocked. And it's like, no, man, you don't understand. There's something else going on here. There's a bit of forced perspective.
Oh my
Production telling us stewed stories, but
that's how I felt. That's how I felt to some extent. Like I lifted with Seb today, which Seb was on the mic yesterday. For those of you listening right now,
Seb has some muscles. Let's just say that.
He's an extremely muscular commentator.
Very jacked.
So I went to the gym with him today, and he's like, yeah, man, just like warm it up, like whatever feels comfortable. I'm like, dude, listen, man, like I am nowhere near the level of fitness that you are, so I'm following your lead. He's like, yeah, warm it up. So I throw on like 50 pounds onto like a lat pull. He racks 200 pounds on the lat pull and just reps it out. And I'm like, this is disgusting, man. How am I supposed to be standing next to you? Yeah,
I mean, you know, you used to hear people say stuff like, I want at the Olympics like them to see like a regular guy running next to
normal
Usain
dude.
Bolt.
Yeah.
And the thing is like melee players have the luxury of watching round one pools matches.
Right.
Back in the day, you'd see Armada just like hanging a guy to dry, just completely destroying him.
Oh yeah,
and
100%.
We would get like the average man versus Usain Bolt, every weekend. It was kind of crazy. And this is, again, Pelf, not average person. Like, this is someone who, again, it's me standing next to this dude where he's still so much taller than me. It's like, I'm not short,
I think it goes back to, I think, what you said at the end of our last set, which was one of the more competitive ones.
For sure.
But it's like the analysis that you can get when you're playing against a player who is, top 100 level can be really limited, right? Because how do you break down a set like that where you're like, well, why did I really die, right? Like, I got reversal because I committed to something that in most situations is like fine for the most part. It's hard, but I think all that being said, Pelf did a good job. Like it's a 3-0, but it looked good overall for pools,
Absolutely. I think one thing that happens a lot, and you do hear people talk about this, but like, I remember there was a scene in the Metagame documentary where Mango said something like, I was playing so bad, and then he said like, I made you play bad. That's a very real thing, and it kind of feels like, in basketball when some guy like puts the ball through your